So Crown Jewel is coming up to us from Perth, Australia, and it is going to be at a special start time. I think it's going to start at like what 6 a.m. something like that. It's going to start very early. It's going to be a little bit difficult to watch it, but that's not what we're talking about right here. We're going to talk about the card. That's right, the matches that are happening at Crown Jewel, and what personally do I think two things will happen and what do I think should happen? Because I think it's important to discuss both and contrast and compare. So, why don't we go ahead and discuss my official predictions for Crown Jewel? The first match we have coming up is Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Now, the thing with these guys is that obviously, this is not the first time that these guys have met up with each other. This is not the first time they have met at a PLE. Now, on the last time that they saw each other was, of course, in Clash in Paris when Roman got the victory, but Bronson Reed was the one standing tall at the end of that PLE. So you really think about it, the one that ended up standing tall and looking strong was Bronson Reed. This should be the match where Roman, gets his win back. But should he? Because again, he did win the match at Clash in Paris, even if Bronson Reed ended up looking as the strongest one. So I do think this should be for Bronson Reed to win. A victory like this could do wonders for Bronson Reed. Of course, he has his story of the tribal thief, right? Even though they have not really playing into that in the last few weeks, but that could really set him up. That could really do wonders for him. Roman really doesn't need this win, right? He really doesn't need to beat Bronson Reed, especially because Bronson Reed is from the area. He's from Australia. So you're thinking, hometown boy, working against one of the greatest in the business who already has a win over him. It makes all the sense in the world for Bronson Reed to win this match. Now, do I think he's going to? That's a different story. It's Roman. It is Roman. This is a big event. I think it's at a stadium in Australia. And not only that, again, Bronson Reed ended up being the strongest guy last match. He stood tall at the end. So are they going to count that as a victory? Maybe they do want Roman to have his win. I don't know. If I have to guess what Triple H and Road Dogg, Road Dogg is on SmackDown. But if I had to guess who they want to win, it's really difficult not to go with Roman. It just makes all the sense in the world for it to be Bronson Reed in this match at Crown Jewel. Next up, we have a tag match with the Kabuki Warriors versus another hometown girl in Rhea Ripley, and of course her dear friend Io Sky. Now, the thing with this match is that this is probably the most interesting and compelling storyline happening on Raw. They have been doing a really good job progressing this story and making us feel interested and caring about this story. Now, here's the thing. They have found themselves in this interesting dynamic where Kyrie is slowly starting to go into this 2022, 2023 Sami Zayn spot where she doesn't want to beat over Io, but she has to, or she feels that she has to do whatever Asuka says. Now, how does that play into the storyline and to the result of the match at Crown Jewel? Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rhea is from there. She's another hometown girl. I find it really difficult to believe that she's not going to win. Both Rhea and Io are probably the most popular members of the female roster, like in all of WWE. It just makes all the sense in the world for them to win. But there is one thing that they could do if they really want to spice up the storyline, even though I really doubt that that's the direction they're going to. And that is Io betraying Rhea Ripley. Io turning her back on Rhea and going back to Asuka, really apologizing as Kyrie begged her to do. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I don't think so. I think this is a spot where both me and the WWE are going to agree I think Io and Rhea should win, and I think Io and Rhea are going to win. It just makes all the sense in the world. It's a big match. This is essentially an exhibition. Plus, I think it's too soon to have anything happening like out of the ordinary in this match. I think if they do some form of a turn, it's going to happen later down the line. We do have war games coming up, and I imagine some of this is going to play over in there. I imagine, the war games teams. This is always from both brands, from Raw and SmackDown. So I can see the Kabuki Warriors recruiting, I don't know, maybe Raquel and Roxanne, and then one person from SmackDown, and the of course Io and Rhea recruiting maybe Bailey and and what's her name, Lara Valkyria, and someone from SmackDown. I don't, maybe Nia Jackson, Jade Cargill. I don't know how they would handle that, but I do think this is way too soon to have anything significant happening on the storyline department. This is probably just going to be an exhibition where the good guys get the win to send the crowd home happy at Perth. Next up, we have probably the most anticipated match in the entire card, which is John Cena versus AJ Styles. Now, this is the match that everyone wanted to see when John Cena around his retirement tour, one-on-one again, one more time against AJ Styles. And I mean, it really doesn't matter. This is an exhibition. AJ said it himself. There's no need for a story, right? This is just two legends going at it one more time. It is just magic on its own. It doesn't really matter who wins and who loses. Or does it? Because here's the thing. AJ and Cena, if I'm not mistaken, are 2-1, favoring AJ, of course. They had 3 matches, I think. One at Money in the Bank, which AJ won, and the rematch at SummerSlam. That was a big one that AJ also won that match. Of course, Cena then took a break, came back at the Rumble, and beat AJ in also a really good match for the WWE Championship. So they are 2-1, and Cena won the latest one. But all of those 3 matches were so long ago. They didn't really mention their score. They just said, "Oh, they had 3 matches, right, in the past." So they're not really making it a part of the story. But again, as AJ said, there really is no need of a story. I don't think they would care about that record, about that 2-1. I don't think so. But I do think they're gonna go with John Cena in this match. Again, this is an exhibition. It doesn't really matter. But John Cena lost his his most recent match against Brock Lesnar. Now, I imagine John Cena is going to be maybe in War Games, right? Because he's announced for the show. If you're going to have him at Survivor Series, why not have it be at War Games? Unless he challenges someone for a title, which I don't know who could even that be. But yeah, like he has to be at War Games, right? Like there's no other thing he could do. And so it really doesn't count. And then his last match is on December. So I think you want John Cena to be looking strong going into his last match. Therefore, you have him beat AJ in this one. Although we don't know if he's going to have matches on Raw. I think he has 2 more confirmed dates, and then War Games, and then Saturday Night's main event. So he could get those wins on Raw and just have this match play out as it should. Which again, I'm not entirely sure if it's favoring AJ, even without considering that. Again, AJ doesn't really lose anything if he loses this match. He also doesn't win anything if he wins this match, right? It's just, again, it's a friendly exhibition. It's a special match just because it's happening, not because of any storyline possibility. So this is probably the most difficult one for me. I'm still gonna go with John Cena. It just makes more sense for me. He just lost against Lesnar. I really think WWE are probably going in that direction as well. So for me, Cena beats AJ to tie to 2-2 on their record. Then, of course, we have the first Crown Jewel Championship match of Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer. Now, the thing here is that Stephanie kind of needs this win, right? Tiffany has been protected a lot throughout her championship run. She has won a lot. She has beat basically the same 3 opponents for the last, 3 months? But she has beat them a lot. Stephanie doesn't need this win. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't really feel like I need to see I don't really feel like I need to see Tiffany win anytime soon. I'm kind of done with her title reign. And to be honest with you, I was done with her title reign at SummerSlam. I was ready for Jay to get that. She didn't get it. I'm kind of ready for it to be over now. Of course, she's not going to be losing the championship in this match, but I don't even need to see her win. Plus, there's Nia Jax and Jade Cargill lurking around. They could cost her this match while Stephanie doesn't have anything going on. So there's no one to cost her this match. So two things are going to happen. Either Tiffany wins clean, which is probably the worst option, or someone costs her the match, which I hate. I do think that's what's going to happen. I think Nia and Jade are going to interfere, cost Tiffany the match, and Stephanie's going to win. What I would want to happen is for Stephanie to simply beat Tiffany Stratton clean, just like she beat Io Sky at the WrestlePalooza. I think that would be their better option. Either way, both my choice and WWE's choice, in my opinion, are Stephanie wins the Crown Jewel Championship in 2025. And then, of course, what is probably going to be the main event of Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Now, Seth has said it himself. He needs to win this match, okay? He's 3-0, or sorry, he's 0-3 against Cody Rhodes, right? It makes no sense for Cody to win this match. They did set up something fun, which is if Seth wins, he loses the locker room, he loses his spot at the top of Raw, and he maybe loses the division. But I think it's too soon to tell that story. Now, something interesting happened on Raw, which is CM Punk mentioned that he's going to beat Seth Rollins before the end of the year. I don't know if they're going to do that. And he said it that he's going to do it on Netflix, not on a PLE, not on Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't know if that was just CM Punk talking, because he just opens his mouth and he doesn't really care for programming. He just tries to do a cool promo. So that could mean nothing, or it could mean something. I don't know what that means, but if Seth is really going to lose the title within the next few months, I do think he needs a couple of strong wins. And again, he's 0-3 to Cody Rhodes. Last year, Gunther lost, and that made that championship look really weak. If you want to make this title look as big as the WWE Championship, and you want Seth to look as big of a threat as he should be, he has to win this match. And I do think WWE is going in that direction as well. Cody Rhodes has been protected plenty in the past, but I think they're fine with letting him lose, especially if there's some sort of distraction. The vision is lurking. Drew McIntyre can insert himself back in the story somehow. I don't know exactly what is going to cause it, but I do think Seth is going away from Perth with the Crown Jewel Championship, or I guess the ring. Well, guys, those are my predictions for Crown Jewel 2025. What do you think is going to happen at Crown Jewel? Please let me know. Leave a like, comment, please subscribe, and have a good one.